I've gone blind." It wasn't just a sentence. It was a father's test, his last attempt to understand his daughter's heart. Remen closed his eyes, wore dark glasses, and stood at the doorstep holding a walking stick. His daughter, Aisha, a bright, teenage dreamer, opened the door, and for a moment the world froze. "Dad, are you okay?" Her voice was soft, but fear trembled in her breath. Remen wondered, will she stay by me? Will she guide me, or leave me behind in her own race? This wasn't just a story of blindness. It was a heartbeat of emotion, sacrifice, and truth. Today, we'll see how deep a daughter's heart runs, and how a father's illusion can either shatter or heal him. Remen was a retired librarian, quiet, content, and deeply in love with his daughter Aisha, as every father is. His wife had passed away 2 years ago. Now, only 2 souls lived in that house. One restless, always chasing the future, Aisha, and one quiet, walking in the lanes of memories, Remen. For months, Remen had noticed changes. Late nights on the phone, new friends, college projects, and avoidance of household chores. "Beta, please put the plates in the sink." "Beta, could you bring my medicine?" Every time, she'd reply yes, Abu, and then forget. Remen began to fear, am I becoming a burden? He convinced himself this was just youth, until one day he overheard a neighbor saying, "Kids today only care about themselves." That night, something in his heart broke. The next morning, he made a strange decision. He would pretend to be blind. Why? Because sometimes life only reveals truth through tests. He memorized the layout of the house, practiced moving around with a stick, and put on dark glasses. When Aisha saw him that morning, she froze. "Abu, what happened?" Remen lied softly. "Darkness fell last night. I can't see anymore." Aisha panicked, searched online what to do if a parent goes blind, but soon looked at the time. She had college and a part-time shift. "Abu, I can't miss both. I'll come back early. Please take care." She left half a parada on the side, but didn't fix the messy shelf. Remen felt her concern, but also distance. Each day grew heavier. Remen stumbled through chores. Aisha came home late, exhausted. She often said, "Abu, I'll order a smart speaker to help you," but it never arrived. "Tomorrow, tomorrow," she kept saying. One night, Remen overheard her on a call. "I need hostel allotment. My dad's health is becoming a roadblock. I need focus." Those words shattered him. A roadblock? The next morning, he found her application draft. "I come from a home with many responsibilities. My father is blind. I need an independent environment to build my future." He touched those words, each one cutting into his chest like glass. He wept silently. A blind man couldn't even wipe his tears. That evening, Aisha came home tired. "Abu, tomorrow's my presentation." Remen whispered, "If you leave, this house will lose its light." She replied, "I'm not leaving you, Abu. I just need to build my future." That night stretched endlessly. He began to question himself. Was my test cruel? The next day, neighbor Aunt Sakina visited. "She's a good girl, just tired," she said. Remen smiled weakly. If she were good, she'd stay. "I'm blind now." Days passed. One afternoon, Remen noticed small paper labels on jars. Salt, sugar, tea, milk. Aisha had quietly tried to help. But still, that hostile form haunted him. Then one evening, he found a small envelope on her shelf. Inside were receipts, local clinic, device shop, and a Braille primer booklet. Braille? His heart raced. Was she trying to learn? For me? That night, Aisha said nervously, "Abu, sleep early. Tomorrow I'll show you something." Remen looked at the mirror after she slept, removed his glasses, and stared at his own reflection. "I've been lying. This lie has burned us both. Should I confess now?" The next day, Aisha took his hand. "Abu, come with me." "To where?" "Just trust me." At the clinic, she revealed her surprise, a doctor's appointment for his eyes, and a small box. "This is a voice assistant. It'll help you control everything by voice." Remen's heart stopped for a second. That's all he had wished for. Then he remembered the hostel form, beta, and that hostel application. She lowered her head. That was my mistake, Abu. I panicked. I thought I couldn't handle both, my future and caring for you. I wrote it, but never submitted it. But you still wrote it. I did. And that same night, I deleted it. I sold my phone, worked overtime, and bought this device, the Braille booklet, so we could read together. Remen closed his blind eyes. The lie had tested love. Her truth had saved it. But still, one question remained. Would she forgive me when she learns the truth? The clinic was quiet. Aisha was filling forms at reception. Remen sat silently, heart pounding. It's time to tell her everything. At home, Aisha handed him another envelope. My daily routine chart for you, from morning tea to medicine. I've marked shelves with tactile dots. Remen smiled faintly, hiding the ache. I'm not blind, but trapped in my own lie. That evening, Aunt Sakina dropped by. By Remen, your daughter looks peaceful today. She is, he replied softly, and I'm learning peace from her. Later that night, he called Aisha. Beta, sit. I have something to tell you. He removed his dark glasses. Abu, you can see, she gasped. Yes, Beta, I can, and I've been pretending. Silence. Aisha's face froze. Pain, betrayal, disbelief. Abu, why would you test me like that? I was scared, he said, trembling. I saw you drifting away and thought, maybe I'm a burden. I wanted to see if you still cared. Aisha's eyes welled up. Abu, we become burdens only when we stop expressing love. I was wrong for not showing you how much I cared, but you didn't trust me either. They both broke, a father and daughter standing at opposite ends of truth. Then Aisha took out the hostel draft and slammed it on the table. Hey, I deleted this long ago. I sold my phone, worked double shifts, bought your device, your medicine, your Braille kit. I never wanted to leave. I was just scared. Remen whispered, that one line, my father's a roadblock. It broke me. Tears rolled down Aisha's cheeks. That line was fear, not truth. You could have asked me. He lowered his head. I was too weak to face the answer. She held his hand. Then let's face truth together from now on. At that moment, Aunt Sakina softly said, you both hurt each other, but for love. Now, who will take the first step? I will. Aisha smiled. She set up the voice device and said, Abu, say, lights on. Remen obeyed. The room lit up. They both smiled, the first real light after days of darkness. From that day, they rebuilt life brick by brick. Aisha created a whiteboard with 4 rules. No secrets, good or bad. Weekly check-in. Sunday evening tea. Shared reminders and labels. Plan the future together. Remen added, and no lies ever again. They laughed and sealed it with a heart. Their new life began. Every morning, Aisha brewed tea. Remen read news aloud, now without lies. Over breakfast, they discussed their Sunday chai check-in plans. Aisha rearranged her job shift to balance college. Her manager said, you're handling a lot. She smiled. I'm not alone. My dad's with me. At home, smart reminders rang out. 7 p.m., Dad's medicine. 8 p.m., Aisha's study hour. Sunday, Aunt Sakina's tea. Remen used his librarian skills to improve the label system, adding index cards. Aisha laughed. Dad, you're part librarian, part designer. Together they learned Braille. Aisha said, these tiny dots hide stories. Remen replied, and we'll read them together. Every correct word got a high five. Every mistake, a retry and smile. Weeks later, Aisha was nominated for a Student Care Award. Her diary entry read, my father isn't my burden, he's my compass. Remen cried reading it. The reaction that once broke him was now healing him. But life isn't always smooth. One night, power went out. The smart device went silent. Darkness again. Aisha lit a candle and said, technology is support, not salvation. We are each other's support. Soon, Remen began a neighborhood book club for kids. Aisha made posters and QR codes. The first session had 6 kids. Remen told them, "The biggest victory is not in testing love, but in trusting it." Weeks later, Aisha's scholarship interview came. "How do you manage so many responsibilities?" asked the interviewer. "By telling the truth early," she replied. "We have a Sunday chai meeting." "That's unique," he smiled. "Good things usually are," she said. When she returned home, she hugged Remen. "Abu, when I first wrote that statement, I was weak. Now I'm strong, because we're a team." Remen smiled. "And when I first said I'm blind, I was weak. Now I'm strong, because I've learned to trust you." That night, Aisha stuck a phrase on her wall. "Don't test love with lies. Grow love with truth." Remen looked at it every morning, silently grateful. One evening, as rain tapped gently on the window, Remen asked, "Beta, what if I hadn't lied that day?" Aisha smiled. "Then maybe we wouldn't have learned this fast. But Abu, we'd still have healed, because our hearts already belong to each other." He looked up at the sky and whispered, "From now on, every step will be truthful." "Promise," she said, squeezing his hand. And thus, the reaction that once broke a father, a sentence, a misunderstanding, became the very thing that healed him. Because sometimes love takes the wrong turn to find the right road, and truth is a light that leads us home. Never measure love with lies. If you must test something, test your own patience, not the hearts of those who love you. Children make mistakes. Parents too. But when we talk honestly, every misunderstanding can be healed. Start your own Sunday chai, a small weekly chat where truth replaces silence and love replaces fear. Don't test love with lies. Grow it with truth. Sung with Small Cloud Hash. If this story touched your heart, hit like, share it to bring light into someone's home, and subscribe for more emotional, life-changing stories. Tell us in the comments, when will you start your Sunday chai?